South African economy should appreciate that in the transition period, in the 1990s, in the early 1990s, the apartheid government handed over partial power to the liberation forces and didn't hand over the economy. That is why we say in the EFF that what has happened was just to hand over political power without economic power, and partial political power, by the way. I'll explain that in terms of what it means. And there was no economic power, and that is meaningless because it doesn't change the lives of the people. So if you were to check the cabinet of President Mandela in 1994, all the key strategic economic sectors were occupied by the white minorities who were representing the National Party. So the Minister of Finance was Derek Keys. The Minister of Minerals and Energy was Pik Botha. The Minerals of Agriculture and Land was Andre van Niekerk. The Reserve Bank Governor continued to be Chris Stolz, who was appointed in 1989. So you could see that they wanted to retain control of strategic sectors of the economy. And once they had inducted the ANC into the new liberal economic framework which they had drafted, and once they inducted the ANC into retention of white economic power, then they pulled out of the government of national unity in 1996, and then the ANC continued with the same economic apartheid architecture which had been designed to basically empower the white minorities. So that is where we have been. And then with the adoption of GIA in 1996 and heavy protection of the white capitalist interest. So what it means currently is that 1994 could have abolished some parts of political apartheid, but economic apartheid is a reality. And what are the features of such an economic apartheid? It's concentration in few hands. Like, it's monopolized economy. Like, very few people are in control of bigger portions of South Africa's economy. It's huge inequalities which are racialized. And one thing which most people do not read deeply into when they look into South Africa's inequalities is the fact that it's racialized. So like, if you were to take the white population only and gauge their developmental indicators, unemployment, poverty levels, they will be number 10 or number 11 in the world economies.
All right. Good evening, fellow fighters. It's me, Fighter Miles from Nelson Mandela Bay. Amanda, yes. Today we'll be looking into the clip that just played, where the Deputy President is in an interview with JJ Tabane from Newsroom Africa. Now, the Deputy President goes on to telling us about what transpired economically in South Africa in 1994 and since then, and as to where we are currently. Okay. Now he speaks about we cannot run away from the fact that what we got in 1994 is not what struggle heroes and heroines fought for, because they only got political power. That's what they negotiated, you see. So now political power without economic power, it's meaningless, you see. But now this is what fascinates me here. The Deputy President goes on to explain as to how this white regime, after they saw that they were in the losing side now, how they manufactured themselves into getting into the cabinet. But the way they did that, they told the ANC government that should you take over everything, you're going to collapse the economy of South Africa. He goes on to tell us about if you look into the strategic sectors of the economy back then, you would find only the white people that were representing the apartheid regime. So they were there to make sure that they keep the privilege of white people. And then also we go on to see that currently, on the current state of the economy in South Africa, we are in an economic apartheid. You see, because this economic struggle is racial. You see, because you find the white minority, they have the wealth, they have the land, they own the means of production. And us, the black people, we are still victims of cheap labor and outsourcing.
On any fruits for our people. There has not been any emergence of major industrial role players in South Africa since 1994. There's not been a creation of a state-owned company to the equivalent of ISCO, which was created by apartheid, to the equivalent of ESCOM, which was created under apartheid, to the equivalent of SASOL, which was created under apartheid. There's not been any major state-driven economic growth since 1994. So there's been directionlessness that is underpinned by the ANC's incompetence, but also the sucking up to the global capitalist establishment.
All right, fellow fighters, in this clip that we've just seen, okay, the Deputy President is outlining a couple of facts there. One is that the ANC government has failed to implement state-owned entities after the apartheid regime, because the state-owned entities that we have now, they are apartheid regime's project. ESCOM was created during apartheid, ISCO, railway, you see, so all these entities were created during apartheid, and then ANC, they took the same model. Now understand this, these entities were created in apartheid era. Now the ANC is taking those entities and continuing with them, so which means they are preserving the white privilege, but they don't think about it. You see, and then another thing, South African government is only is sucking up to capitalists. You see, because now we've been going to Davos since 1994. We've been going to Davos, but nothing is developing our country from Davos. All they come pumped up, they have energy. No, we're gonna turn around the economy, and then nothing happens. You see, so we need people that would think out of the box in our government, that would come with new ideas. And we've tried capitalist, it's not working currently. Why don't we go with socialism? What's wrong with that? You see, but as I've stated in the previous video, is that as South Africans, we are scared for change. That's the one thing that's killing us, and it's killing our country if we are not looking into it. But hey, if you like my videos, please subscribe. Just click subscribe and then hit the bell, so that every time we are uploading new videos, you can be updated. But thank you for watching our channel. Hope you would watch the next one. So yeah, let's engage on the bottom on the comments. Let's engage there, continue the debate. And I know maybe at some pointers I'm wrong, but hey, I stand corrected. If there are people that know more than me, just correct me, and then just bring in the suggestions as to what videos you want us to play, and then we can play it. Amanda.